Happy Tuesday, everybody. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily 12 p.m. hail forecast. We have a couple risks today, but more importantly, we're going to be looking ahead at the beginning of May. I know it's only April 24th. It's still a few days to go, but honestly, once we get past today, it is going to be just looking ahead at next week. And based off of the run that is coming in right now, the American model, things are looking up. It's not looking like things are going to go away, right now anyway. And we'll get into that in just a minute. Make sure you guys have your notifications set up. If it's your first time watching us, make sure you go to your notification options on your desktop computer on your Hailtrace website. Go to notification settings, set up which way you'd like to get your notifications, whether through your phone, email, or on your desktop computer, and the regions which you'd like to be notified for. Whole city areas, whole states, whole country, whatever you want to customize it to be fit your business needs the best. And here's our forecast for today. We have two separate areas. The first of which I'm going to talk about is here in Texas. Pretty rural area, not going to lie. This is in West Texas. The storms are going to form probably after about 4 o'clock this afternoon. There's a lot of indications that things are going to go linear, which is minimal for hail pretty quickly. But I have a 2% chance regardless for Abilene and for Lubbock. Anywhere here in the yellow, maybe up to some ping pong ball size hail. I really think it's going to be that first hour or so is when you're going to be seeing any sort of large hail. Again, only up to about ping pong ball size, because I think it's going to be a quick transition to just a line of storms that's going to minimize your hail threat for this area in Texas. We also have a risk here in Florida, the South Peninsula of Florida. This is after about 1 o'clock Eastern time, or right now. Some storms are possible, some instability just because it's Florida, and some storms look like they're popping up west of West Palm Beach. I have a 5% chance there, possibly as far south as Fort Lauderdale, far north as Port St. Lucie, and with it being Florida, probably a lot of small hail, a lot of gusty winds, but anything up to $half size hail is possible in any of this region here in the yellow, and that's from probably about 1 o'clock through about 4 or 5 o'clock this evening across Florida. Not a huge deal, but hey, it's still something to watch for the remainder of today. And honestly, that is what we're looking at right now. So I'm going to switch over to the models and look ahead at next week and kind of show you guys what we have down the pipeline here, because right now obviously things are a little quiet. We're not looking at a whole lot going on. Let's see, I'm going to go on this website. The website we typically go on, Pivotal Weather, a little slow on the uptake with the models today, so we're going to show you the American model. This is exactly the same thing that we see on the other website that I normally show you guys, just a different color scale for being this College of DuPage page. And this is the jet stream on the American model. We're going to be pushing forward here. This is going into the rest of this week. You see this system right here. This is going to kind of kill severe weather for the remainder of this week. So tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, probably not really much going to go on. And honestly, going into this weekend looks quiet as well, which is, for the time of year it is, the last week of April is very, very unseasonable. Usually there's a lot of severe weather of any kind going on during that last week of April. Whether or not it's a large outbreak, there's usually just activity in general, and this is just really pushing that continued cold trend that we've had all spring so far. But good news is we move into next week. We get past this really angry deep trough that goes into well into the Gulf again, and you see here this big ridge. This is a lot of moisture return, and finally it looks like winter is coming to an end across all the Great Lakes region. Not so much the Northeast, but big ridge. You got that trough developing in the west. This is the telltale signs of severe weather, especially large-scale severe weather, more importantly. And moving forward, this is on Monday. I think Monday there's a chance, is what in the weather community, in the chase community, the day before the day type thing. I think we might see some storms try to fire along a dry line here in Texas, going into western Oklahoma. Just a storm or two on Monday, and that'll be the start of probably a pretty active week. We're going to move forward here to Tuesday, and you see this trough digging a little bit deeper. And let me just get, here's on Tuesday, the trough digs a bit deeper, and also having more of the energy going over Oklahoma and into Kansas. And once I switch over to moisture, you see a lot of moisture return and a dry line that's going to be moving a little bit closer to I-35, which, you know, for you guys, a lot more population in that area. Let's see. All right, so moving forward, even beyond that, this particular run really wants a pretty strong jet that pushed through, that'd be pushing through Oklahoma on Wednesday, and that raises some eyebrows of, hey, that could be a bigger severe weather event. If it wasn't for the fact that it's over a week out, and it's definitely going to change, but it's still been pretty consistent with this western trough, showing some storms coming into next week at the beginning of May. I know it seems like it's forever from now, but there is something, the light at the end of the tunnel, and the pattern seems to really support, once we keep going in the models here, that this isn't going to come crashing back down and killing the severe weather again, just being a one and done event. I think this is going to be the start of a much more active May compared to April. And just spoiler alert, we're at record low territories for April, so there's not really anywhere to go but up for May. So you got that to look forward to. I'm going to show you guys the dew points to show you that moisture return. I'm going to kind of skip ahead here, and you can see as we move through this weekend, you see all that moisture getting pushed out of the Gulf. Pushing ahead a little further here, we get to Monday right there. See that little bit, oh God, this thing is so sensitive. Gets a dry line here. You can see the dry line pretty much going from western Kansas down into Texas. There should be a storm or two that will form along there. Pretty good for a storm chasing for the weather enthusiasts, not so much the roofer perspective, is a day to keep an eye on. Roofer is not that big of a deal, but we pretty rural in that area. But we push forward here towards Tuesday. You see this nice dry line bulge in Texas, western Texas, places like Abilene would have to watch out for that one, and even Amarillo. And I think some storms could form, but more importantly, other than just where the storms could form, look at all this moisture. You have the 70s actually making it into Texas. You have the 60s making it all the way up to Minneapolis. This is real moisture return, real spring showing up. And again, yes, the biggest, most impressive storms will be in the southern plains, but that also puts a warm front in play. Other storms could actually happen in other parts of the country, finally getting out of Texas as we move into May here. And that's all stuff we're going to be watching. And then most impressively, here's the dry line on this particular run showing on Wednesday. This will be an I-35 outbreak for sure, showing that dry line bulge going all the way across Oklahoma, down through Dallas, Oklahoma City, into Wichita. Again, this is pretty far out, so we're not taking this for obviously gospel or anything, but just the fact that it's showing something like this this is the first time it's even really shown up this year as like a real event. So we'll be watching this very carefully, see if these signals continue through this week. We could have our first legitimate, impressive severe weather event of the year in places somewhere other than Arkansas, eastern Texas, Louisiana. And beyond that, the risk pushes further to the east, and then we continue to the model isn't that far out yet. So that's what we're looking ahead at. I think next week things are finally going to turn around starting on Monday, and we could see an extended period of severe weather. The long-range models are really pushing the western trough, eastern ridge. It's pushing away that Hudson low, that cold air that has been plaguing us since March. I think the light is at the end of that tunnel there. I don't think this year is going to be above average, just because the amount of ground we have to make up at this point to make up for a very quiet April is almost impossible to hit those numbers, but I still think we can squeak out an average year and possibly an above average hail month for May, and probably going into June as well. So that is what we're looking at. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Again, there isn't a whole ton to talk about, so it's going to be kind of a quick video and continuing to be kind of quiet videos for the remainder of this week. We'll just keep going on to it. John Salvador is not impressed with what I'm talking about there. But anyway, make sure you guys follow us on Facebook. Again, I know we have kind of a quiet period here, but things will turn around. You don't want to miss any of that, especially if we have a surprise storm or something that comes out of nowhere for the remainder of this week. Make sure you follow us, hit see first, pop up at the top of your news feed, so if you miss your notification for these videos or for our new maps or anything, it'll pop up right at the top of your news feed when you log on to Facebook, when you're absentmindedly looking on your phone on Facebook, like on the toilet or something. So, and also make sure you give us a call, an email, or check us out on our website if you have any further questions about Hail Trace and about our product, about any weather questions, even if you have a hail report for us to do. Hailtrace.com. You can go on Intercom, which is the lower right-hand corner of your screen, little speech bubble, blue button. You click on that, and they'll message everyone on staff, and that is probably the easiest way to get in contact with us, especially after hours when we're not at the office and able to answer the phone. And that's all I got for you guys today. Have a great wet rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you guys again tomorrow at 12 p.m. for our daily hail forecast. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody.